Welcome back, my house of realness. Bendiciones. Thank you for tuning in on this video. Literally, it's your girl's second day on the job as a YouTuber, and I thought today I would answer this question that two of my House of Realness members kind of asked me in the comments down below in my last video, which is the DIY hair mask. So if you haven't already, pause this video, go check that video out, give it a big thumbs up, like and subscribe as well, and then come back to this video because this video is going to be filled with a lot of tips and tricks on how I survive on a budget. So I've made it no mystery on my channel that the way I was able to purchase the camper was with my stimulus check. I paid $1,100 for this camper with my stimulus check, and with the extra $100 that I had left over, that's how I got gas and was able to come down here. Now, before that, I was employed and I was working. I had saved up some money from that job as well as when I filed my income tax. So all that money combined is what I have been living with, but it is nowhere near a lot of money. So that being said, I know that I have a limited amount of money and I have to budget that money accordingly. So the first piece of advice I would give anybody asking me, hey girl, how do you live on a budget? How do you stay with a budget? How is it that you do that? Because I can't seem to get that. I can't seem to get there. Take your money out of your card. Listen to what I am saying. Nothing will teach you the value of $1 faster than having that money in your hand and seeing it deplete. Okay? Every time you pay for something, you see that money going and going and getting smaller and smaller. When it's on your card, you're not paying attention to it. You know, it's almost like the card creates this sort of idea in our head. It's infinite. Like we can just swipe, 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 and we don't think twice about it because we don't see the money depleting physically. So that has been number one for me. Having the money actually in my hand. So I put myself on a budget, a strict budget. I put myself on a budget of $7 to $10 a week. Okay? And I take that money out physically and I put it in my hand. And I say, Michelle, this is all you have. That's it. That's all I have. So you got to figure it out. So everything that you need to get done, you need to figure out a way to get it done with $10, and that's it. And that's what I tell myself, you know. And now you're probably wondering, girl, but how do you feed yourself? How do you do everything with $10? I'm going to tell you. It's safe to say that most Americans tend to spend their money on going out to eat. Takeout, going out to restaurants and things like that. Well, that is my biggest money saver. I don't go out to eat. I cook all my meals, okay? My idea of going out to eat, if I want something from a fast food restaurant, the way I get fast food is that I collect receipts, baby. A lot of these fast food chains, what they do is they have surveys on the receipts. I worked as a server for 6 years, and I've worked in several restaurants that really enforce the surveys because it boosts up the store's number and rates, especially online. So they want to see those surveys, and they used to enforce it on us. So I learned about surveys early on. And as an incentive, when you fill out those surveys, these restaurants often give you something. I would just name one example at the moment. IHOP. You go to IHOP, you get a receipt off the ground, crumbled up, you pick it up, it says survey. And honestly, I'm going to tell you something else that I shouldn't be telling you, but I'm going to keep it real with you because you know your girl keeps it real. So, boom, you pull out your phone, you do the survey, you answer those questions real quick, it generates a code, you write it down, you hand those receipts. They be like, thank you for your survey, and you get a short stack of pancakes. 3 pancakes. And pancakes are filling. And when you ain't got nothing else to eat, those pancakes will be hitting right, okay? So, that's one. Now, let me tell you this. If you don't have a phone, don't despair. Because you could pick up that survey receipt, put 8 numbers on it, I believe, no, hold on. It's 8 numbers. You put 8 numbers on that, you hand it to them, they don't check it. Baby, they don't check it. They don't check it. So you write 8 little numbers on it, you hand it over to them, and boom, you're going to get your pancakes. Now, if you do have a phone, sign up for all of their emails and reward plans as long as it's free. Sign up. Download the apps. The apps are where you're going to get it, okay? And I'm going to tell you something that I am grateful that a couple of friends of mine, they do this favor for me, and I don't know if it'll be possible for everybody, but I'll tell you, y'all, I'm about to get really down to the nitty gritty and tell you how this girl right here be surviving, yo. So stay tuned, and I need y'all to get comfortable. I need y'all to get something to drink, because, ooh, I can't even, like, I was nervous about telling you guys, because I'm like, yo, people are going to judge me, but you want to know something? Look. Y'all want to know the truth, so I'm here to tell it. I'm here to tell it like it is, baby. So boom, your receipts. You got those receipts, that's how you get it. Sign up for the apps. Apps accumulate points, and when you sign up, they always give you like a welcome gift normally. So that's another thing. I know when you sign up for IHOP's email for the first time, they send you a free full stack of pancakes in your first email, and then they'll send you something on your birthday. Remind me about the birthday, because I have something else to tell you guys. You know what? Let me go ahead and tell y'all now. I'm not going to make y'all wait. So a lot of the times, and this is extra work, but here's what I have to tell you. And this only works if you're going to different locations. Don't go to the same location twice, because you're going to get caught. I'm telling you now. Sign up with a different email. Create a new email. Sign up with a different email and put it as if the day you're signing up is your birthday. Say, for instance, you're hungry. Oh, my stomach hurts. I ain't got nothing to eat. Okay, create that little email. Let's say houseofrealness@gmail.com. Boom, boom, boom. And then we do that. And then we put, okay, today is our birthday. Congratulations, you get a free full stack. Boom, you walk up to that cute little place. They're not going to ask you for your ID. They're not going to ask you for your ID. They're going to see it in the email. They're going to take it, and they're going to be like, and they're not going to even scan it. They're going to check it. They're going to call the manager. The manager's going to come, swipe his little card so he could put the promotional pancakes, the birthday pancakes, and then that's it. You're going to get a 0 receipt. Matter of fact, they're not going to even give you a receipt because it's $0. They're going to say, okay, it's going to take like 5 minutes. You get your full stack of pancakes. It was your birthday today. Go to a new location. Create a new email, and then it's going to be a birthday tomorrow, baby. I'm just telling you the truth because I've done it. I have done it, okay? Now, here's another thing with the apps. Now, oftentimes when you spend money in these fast food restaurants, the money accumulates points. Points equal rewards. Rewards meaning free food. So, I am lucky enough that I have a couple of friends of mine that I've created emails for, and they link it to when they spend money in these restaurants. And they do me that favor. They do me my solid, and they let me accumulate the points. And then when I see it in the email that, you know, they spent enough money, because they don't really care, you know, like, I put them onto game. I was like, you know, you could get free money. And they're like, but, you know, I have to do all that work, and I don't really care. Like, I just always swipe. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, ooh, you got money, because it matters to me. Your girl can't go there. Like, let me tell you something. Yo, and it's, we'll talk about it later, but whatever. So they seem like they don't care. So I'm like, yo, could you do me the solid, since you're going to spend the money anyway and you don't really care about the points? What if I create an email and, like, whenever you swipe, you know, I'll get the rewards? And they're like, I mean, really, if you want to do that, like, cool, whatever. It's no skin off my teeth, you know, like, you ain't taking my money. And I'm like, yeah, like, honestly. So they do me the solid, and that's how I do it. I know. I can't believe I told y'all that. So, boom. Now that you've done that, my friends do that. So whenever they spend money and they accumulate points, I get that little email. Girl, you qualify for a free sandwich. And I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I go and get it. So that's another way. Now, I've shared on my TikTok that I do go to soup kitchens. I go to food pantries. And I do go to local churches that do food banks as well. The way you access those is that you Google it, or you call 311. 311 will tell you over the phone all the places that offer places for you to get a hot meal or groceries if they have it. So if you're able to do that, that is another way that I have been surviving, right? So now you're like, Michelle, what about those $10 that you had? I'm just telling you how you make those $10 stretch. Today, say Monday, I'm going to a soup kitchen. That's my dinner. Boom. Tuesday, I cook something. Wednesday, I get a receipt. Maybe get me like 2 biscuits from KFC. Boom. That's how I do it. Oh, look, I got an email. This person, you know, they accumulated this many points. Thank you. Give them a little text message. Thank you. They'd be like, oh, you still do that? Like, da-da-da. And I'm like, ooh, awkward. Yeah, I still do that. Your girl's going through the struggle. So you just got to keep it real. Closed mouths don't get fed. And as long as they're not throwing it in your face, because, you know, sometimes people change. And that's just honest. Sometimes people change and then they start to tirar cosa en cara. Tirar cosa en cara means like they throw things in your face and they're like, yeah, but you know, like, you still trying to eat off of my receipts. And it's like, ooh, 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 cancel, cancel, cancel. I'm going to end that email. You're not trying to play me like that. But it is what it is. But I am lucky enough that we good. We good where I'm at. So I'm good where I'm at right now. So you're like, okay, now what those $10 go to is your groceries, right? Because I wash panties in a bucket. I wash clothes in a bucket. That's why I put on my Amazon wish list a washing board, because your girl would do that with her little Castile soap. If I don't have Castile soap, I'll go to Dollar Tree and I'll get me a little detergent and I will make it stretch, because I'll put water in it and make it stretch and clean my clothes. So I don't need to do laundry. All I need is agua. So we don't got to worry about that. We're just talking about groceries with these $10. So, boom, Dollar Tree. Everything there is $1. But no, it gets cheaper if you have these supermarkets close to you. Now, I personally only have found good deals at Walmart, Buy Low, and Ingles. Those 3 like supermarkets or stores, they have clearance racks, like clearance in like almost like they have clearance sections in the food section, and that's where you go. So because of survival, I have sort of adapted this kind of vegetarian diet because meat is expensive, and as well I don't have a fridge that's functioning because the generator is not strong enough to power that, and it's loud, and you know, I'm just not trying to be a disturbance. So I can't store meat, you know what I'm saying? I can't store stuff like that. So whatever I buy, I have to buy, and normally they sell it in big bulks. They don't sell it individual, like whatever. So I've adapted a vegetarian diet. So this is why I've been able to sort of live this way. This lifestyle may not work for everybody else, but I'm just telling you what your girl does for survival. And if survival says, girl, you don't got money for meat, I don't got money for meat. And that's what it is. You see, it's all about your mindset. A lot of people perceive the struggle and they see surviving as such a drab. But if you put in your mind, that's all I have, exactly like those $10 in your hand, then that's all you have. And you start to learn how to make life livable with what you have. And I swear, if you stick with it long enough, it starts to feel like, it starts to remind you what really, really matters in this world. You know, it's because of the struggle that moments that I get to go to Smoothie King for the first time and I have a passion fruit passport and it blows my mind. It's like, wow, because I can't afford all those individual ingredients, all those different fruits that they're putting in. That equivalates to dollars. You know, if I want a smoothie, I go to Dollar Tree and I get a bag of mixed berries, put it in a blender with a little water, and there goes my smoothie. And I mean, I never knew before what Smoothie King tastes like, and all I was drinking was that. So, you know, you learn to appreciate the moment and say, okay, that was cute. That's cute. But you know, I'm gonna go back to my smoothies because I'm not gonna beat myself up for but for being responsible and not spending the little bit of funds I have on something like Smoothie King when I could do it for cheaper. So you gotta find ways to do it cheaper. So I do a lot of my grocery shopping in clearance aisles. And I eat a lot of canned vegetables because you can always have, honestly, I feel like I could never have enough corn, green beans, also mushrooms. If you're into mushrooms, mushrooms are literally like $1, and sometimes you'll see them on clearance for like 50 cents, especially at Walmart. And you pick those suckers up and you saute them with some red onions, and boom, sauteed mushroom and onions on some rice. Rice will be your best friend during the struggle. Rice I grew up in a Latin household, so rice was always a staple, and sometimes all we got was just rice and corn and maybe a banana, to be honest. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Your girl is no stranger to the struggle. I grew up in a household of 5 children with a single mom who worked a factory job for under minimum wage, okay? But she still had dinner on the table every single night at 7:30. And whatever was put in front of us was what we had, and we made do with that. But we never felt poor. I mean, of course, we knew that there was things that we didn't have, but okay, we wanted chicken nuggets from McDonald's and french fries. You know what my mother did for us? She got chicken, cut up into little pieces, put it in the flour. She got potatoes, because a bag of potatoes is cheaper than a bag of french fries. Peel those suckers up and make fresh potatoes and fry that up, and there goes our chicken nuggets with french fries, and she made it happen. Yeah, we didn't get to go to McDonald's and places like that, but she made do. So I understood early on what it meant, what the dollar meant, because I saw my mother struggle. She was a single woman who had 5 mouths looking at her, waiting for her to feed us. But she still made it happen with all her limitations. And it's that strength that I pull from, the strength from my mother, who never gave up, because dinner was always at the table at 7:30, no matter how we had to do it. Okay? I could remember as early as I was walking. Matter of fact, even earlier, my mother used to take me with a stroller, and you know the little baskets underneath the stroller? We would go on Sunday morning to the churches, and we would get our compra, our little food. Our compra is food, like groceries. We would get our groceries, whatever they had, and she'll put it underneath the coche. I remember all of that. I remember them giving us extra because I was with her, you know, as a child. We got extra things because, you know, I was so young, and that's how it was. And we went to soup kitchens, and, you know, we had food stamps. It just is, that's how we survived. So I'm no stranger to that. So I go to soup kitchens, I go to food pantries, I go to churches, and I shop clearance. Okay, and I tell myself, okay, Michelle, there's been plenty of nights that your mother probably saw that check, and after she paid the rent and the light and everything else, she probably said, wow, I only have $50. How am I going to make this stretch for a week? And she probably had less, guys, because she made under minimum wage. She probably had less. And she probably sat there like, how am I going to turn these 2 pennies into $1,000 to feed my children? So that goes into my next thing. Free money. Baby, collect pennies. Everybody always throws their pennies on the floor. If you collect them, there's been times where I pay something and they're like, ma'am, it's $1.53. And I say, with my coin purse, I'm sorry, give me a minute. You know what I do? I break it up into 10s. I do a pile of 10s, and then I take a little tape. Oh, I don't have tape here. But imagine I had tape. You take your pile of 10 pennies, so you don't be embarrassed. You put tape here, and then tape here, and tape here, and put those in your purses. So now instead of counting all this change, you already have stacks of 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So that you're not feeling embarrassed when you're sitting in front of the counter. You know? And it is what it is. It's going to save you from breaking another dollar and breaking into your budget of $10. So you do what you got to do, and it's free money. Honestly, it's free money. I mean, at this point, your girl makes up her birthday and she collects receipts. So collecting pennies, there's no difference, really. There's no difference. So now I'm going to talk about another thing that's free money. There's this thing called Pepcoin. Hashtag not sponsored, but Pepsi, if you want to sponsor me, your girl needs it. They have these barcodes right here in the bottle cap. And it says Pepcoin by PepsiCo. Snack, drink, and cash in, Venmo, and PayPal. You sign up for this thing right here, and you put in this little barcode, and if you collect enough of these, you get $1. You can make $1 a day. What do you think your girl does? I go to the recycling center. I go to the recycling center and I share the wealth. And I say, hey, I know that you collect bottles. Can I offer you a proposition? And normally they look at me like, what is this girl talking about? And I say, well, look, you probably dump these bottles in this recycling bin and you get your 5 cents. What if I tell you there's a way that you can turn that profit and make $1 extra a day from what you already collect? And you could have been making all this money so long ago, but you haven't because you didn't think about it. Or maybe you didn't know. And they're like, well, spit it out. And I'm like, okay, if you have bottles like this, if you sign up for the app and you collect enough of these, you can make up to $1 a day and they will send it to your Venmo or PayPal, right? Says it right here, Venmo or PayPal. Now you can only get $1 a day because they limit you. They do, they limit you. So what do? I tell them, hey, and oftentimes, you know what they tell me? They say, that's too much work. I get my 5 cents. It's done and done, and I like it that way. And I say, okay, do you mind if I take pictures of just the caps? Just saying, Just saying. And they let me take pictures of the caps, and I collect pictures of the caps, and you get $1 a day. In 7 days, you got $7. Out of the stash that I have saved from penny pinching and surviving, if I have to pull out $2, that's $7 less than I have to pull out. And there goes, boom, $10 for the next week grocery. That's just the truth. Also, if you can and you're healthy enough, donating plasma. You get paid for donating plasma. And I'm not advocating for it, but I'm telling you what I've had to do to survive. So, and then also, you have to keep it real with yourself. We live in a world where our main focus is what we want. But oftentimes what we want is not really what we need. So I did a video where I went shopping at Aldi's, right? At that point of the week, I had $5 left out of my budget, right? I splurged and I got those cookies. You know what those cookies could have got me? A bag of rice. And you know how long you could stretch a bag of rice when it's just one person? I've stretched it for a week and still have some left over. You cook 1 cup of rice and it turns into 1.5, sometimes 2. And then you make that stretch. I'm not going to lie to you. Do I eat 3 meals a day? No. But I'm no stranger to just eating 1 meal a day. That's how I've been living most of my life. I don't know this concept of eating, like all this, like this, you make a decision. You have your 1 meal, but you decide where you want that 1 meal to be. And I know it's like not what people want to hear, but that's the truth, and it's survival. And I grew up in a household where you go to school, and that's where you get your school breakfast. And now that these children don't go to school, I think about us. What if we were going through COVID and we couldn't go back to school? That's how we got our breakfast. My mother used to wake us up early. My mother had to be at work at 6:30. She got us up at 5 o'clock and got us ready so that our older siblings can take us all to the same school for school breakfast. And we all went as a family. Okay? That's how we survived. And now I feel like, wow, how would we have survived in COVID? How would we have survived? That would have meant no breakfast. And then we get our school lunch. And as an adult, when you realize, I don't have school to get school breakfast and school lunch, you realize that, oftentimes, and I've been surviving all my life, to be honest, and I've been living this lifestyle because of just how things are. I've always maintained 2 jobs. I've always had a what you call quote unquote regular job, and then I've had a serving job on the side, always coinciding. You have to pay not only rent, light, gas, bills, car, all of that. All of the things you have to pay for, cell phones, laundry, soap, all the things that you take for granted, conditioner, shampoo, menstrual pads, like anything that you spend your money on, that comes out, and then you're like, what am I left with at the end of the day? I'm barely making it, so I gotta figure out how to survive. So this isn't like a lifestyle, this is just a survival. And this is what I've known. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's hard. It's hard. There's times where I sit here and I'm like, oh my Lord, like I don't want to do this no more. Like I'm tired. I want to know what it feels like to be able to go to Starbucks every day. I never had the damn thing, but I want to know what that feels like. I want to know how it feels to go to a supermarket and be able to get anything I want and not have to worry about it. It's hard, guys. It's hard. So that's why when I do my cooking shows, and that's my little splurge meal because I worked hard and I saved enough, I do that, and I sit there and I turn the struggle meal into something fancy so that I don't feel like I'm just struggling all the time. It's hard, but you do what you gotta do because I know that I need every single dollar to get me out of here because I'm not safe here. I gotta get my new home. People be like, girl, why don't you, whatever, you know, people can say what they want to say, but like, I know what I gotta do and I live within my means and I find a way through all adversities. If a job's not calling me, your girl's gonna find a way to make a dollar. Okay? And I do. It is what it is. I don't mean to get angry. I'm just passionate because like, I know it's hard and a lot of people are struggling. So that's what I do. I shop in the clearance in supermarkets. I go to Dollar Tree and I turn these little meals and I turn it into recipes. Okay? Let's give you a recipe right now. White rice. You boil your white rice, a little bit of salt. You put that, you cook it for 20 minutes. You got fluffy white rice. Now you go and you get corn. You get corn for 50 cents at Walmart on the clearance rack because it has a little dent. You open that up. You take that corn, you put it in the pan, right? You cut yourself a little bit of onion because a little onion will probably cost you like 15 cents. You take 15 pennies, you got your onion. You cut up that onion, you put it in a saute pan, you season that up a little bit, and you put that on top of the rice, and there goes your bougie struggle meal. A corn and onion relish on top of white rice, and that's what it is. And you make it seem like it's the biggest meal. You are eating at Wolfgang's Puck's restaurant, and he just served you that, and you feel like you're living your life. And that's just what you do, honestly. And I don't know if it's because this is just how I've always done it and survived, and it just is what it is, but it's taught me to cherish the moments, like these little moments where I'm able to like splurge. You know, could I have afforded these nuts? If I went to the supermarket, this would have been more than my weekly budget. One of my members of the House of Realness sent me this. And honestly, it's mixed nuts unsalted, which probably would have cost like 13 bucks right here. Sent me this. So now when I open these and I have a couple of nuts, I'm able to really appreciate this now. When oftentimes people don't even think twice about it, you know? I don't know, guys. It's taught me to be grateful, and I cherish every single thing. And I turn the struggle into my own fairy tale. I go into that kitchen and I think about my mom. I used to sit on a stool. Matter of fact, I used to sit on a towel on top of the radiator that was next to the window. We had a small kitchen. It was like on the 6th floor. And then you walked in and that was like the kitchen. And then the bathroom was off that way. And then the living room was down that way. So it was kind of like a T. And she had her little stove. I would sit on top of the radiator with the window open because it would get hot in there. And I would just watch my mother make magic happen in the kitchen. And I thought that my mom's hands were so magical. And I used to sit there in awe. And I'm like, yo, one day I'm going to be able to be in back of that kitchen. And I remember when my mother gave me the responsibility to put the beans on the stove to start softening. My mother would call it pone las bichuelas para ablandar. I remember when my mother gave me that responsibility and I was so young and I felt like now I get to create that magic. So I just turn every single struggle moment into a magical moment, and I live within my means, and I put myself on a strict budget. So to recap it, because I know this is going to be a long video, I am sorry. Give yourself a budget that is reasonable within you and your means. Take it out of your card and put it in cash, right? And then find a way to subsidize everything that you spend money on and find a way to get it for cheaper and make it last. And then there's free money, pennies, receipts, restaurant receipts. There's free money everywhere. You just have to put in the time to get it. Oftentimes people be like, you know, they only see 1 minute or a couple of minutes that you guys see me on camera, and oftentimes this is what I'm spending my mornings on, doing what I gotta do. I can't wait for the day that I have enough money to coupon where I can, like, I know I don't have to, whatever, but it is what it is. But I don't know, I hope that I gave you guys some real tips on how to survive, how to make it happen, how to turn the struggle and make it your own fantasy, and really learn what it means to live in life. I don't know. I'm so grateful for this experience. I'm so grateful for the way that I was brought up. Like, it made me value and cherish every little treat in life. And I love you guys for watching. So until next time, bendición.